Whoa, so LeBron James is a 76er. I'm not going to lie to you. I semi kind of felt this, that the best route for him to go would be to lean towards Philly, then Miami or Golden State. It's just a more of a complete team. Steph Curry and LeBron, magical. I really wish I got to see that again for a full season. Especially when you look at the contract LeBron signed for. He signed for a 2-year, $8 million. They got the king on a peasant contract. It's absolutely crazy. $8 million. This has been something that's been about LeBron's career his whole entire time, and just in superstardom in general, is how much does a ring really matter? And it must mean a lot to LeBron if he had taken an $8 million contract. Like, that's dang near below, like, almost the mid-level exception. Like, you getting LeBron for a mid-level exception player. What the heck is going on in this league, right? Look, if you tune into this video, I appreciate it. My name is Sean Bean. I love hoops, and I love to talk about it. And I came here to talk about, like, LeBron is a Sixer. This is, honestly, I was thinking about this as I got on the news. Like, this is the best team LeBron has ever been on coming into the situation, right? When he got to Miami had already had just Dwayne Wade after a few years from him coming off from a championship. But then Bosh came later down the line with Braun, later down the line. But even still with that, the team was not perfect. Mario Chalmers was your point guard. They was running through a bunch of different centers. Chris Anderson, Joel Anthony, Shane Battier. Like, those are all quality. And Shane Battier is more of a forward than a center. But you know what I mean. A bunch of very solid centers, but was always rotating. LeBron is going to a situation, and then when you go to, hold on, let's talk about LA. Went to LA. It's LA with LeBron with the young LA Lakers. And then all of them got traded away for Anthony Davis. Then we talk about when he went back to Cleveland. Going back to Cleveland, he had that might have been the Kyrie Kevin Love. That might have just had happened, which would be probably second maybe in the best teams that he came to. But now you have the 76er team that's already prime. Moves do not need to exactly be made because they made the moves throughout the offseason with the acquiring pickups like Dean Wade, with acquiring pickups like Anthony Simons, along with retaining your team pretty much. Now you have a lineup of Tyrese Maxey, VJ, Jaylen Brown, LeBron, and Embiid. And if everybody's healthy, that is a crazy starting lineup. I cannot imagine that first game is going to be something crazy. LeBron James, at the age of 40-something years old, is still doing this to me. I'm not even a Sixer fan. Shout out Markel, they upped up his shot. But I'm not even a Sixer fan. They got me in here jersey, no shirt underneath. Braun got me like that. And I'm really excited to see how this team really mesh onto the court, because you have a couple of different players in different levels and stages of their careers. You have Jaylen Brown, who is a former champion, former Finals MVP, who's just coming off of his best season, who's been saying that this has been my favorite season. A lot of it has to come to, I was getting MVP votes, and I was the number one option on a 50+ win team. You have Joel Embiid, who is coming off of multiple injuries, who's trying to get over that hump. That's kind of past his prime. A lot of it's because of injuries, but can still dominate in ways, clearly, with them beating the Boston Celtics coming back from 3-1. They still have some stuff, going into it, and Embiid coming in later, older on. With teammates with Braun again from the Olympics run. Then you have Tyrese Maxey, young guard, who's up on the rise, who is, his career is going to develop so interestingly. Tyrese Maxey is going to be such an interesting career to watch out for, because there's going to be a post LeBron, of course, and to see that post LeBron with the development that he will gain from these moments that will be had, because they're going to be in moments that's going to be like high level stakes. We're going to get to really see who Tyrese Maxey can really be, and be this guard that we know him that he is. VJ, second year with LeBron on your team, absolutely crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you though, VJ. It's a 2-year deal. I thought it was gonna be 1 year, 2-year deal. If that first year don't go well, you might get out the door that second year, but probably not, because that contract is very, very nice, and you want to stay under the apron. Now, another thing that I found very interesting, I was really what is the right word? I was really intrigued on seeing is how this will all fit out. So we looking right here. Shout out Dean Oliver. We looking at the usage rates last year. LeBron was 27th, and this was LeBron even as the third option. I seen a tweet. LeBron went from a bunch of white folks to a bunch of black hoopers. That's what I'll say. I don't know how YouTube, but a bunch of black hoopers, and it really is true because he had Austin Reeves, Dalton Connect, even though I named him before Luka, Jake LaRavia, like a bunch of hoopers. Well, Austin Reeves and Luka. But last year LeBron third option was 27% rate. Maxey 29, VJ 19, Jaylen Brown at 35, and Embiid at 32. That's a total of 142. I think that's going to be very, very interesting. Nick Nurse has a lot to go ahead and to really dive in. And happy birthday, Nick Nurse. This might be one of the best birthday gifts you could get for real. That you have arguably the best player of all time now onto your team for an 8. Like, you did not have to do, like, this is the crazy, like, you had to do nothing. You had to get rid of nothing. Literally, this whole entire offseason, we've been thinking about, like, how much will LeBron take a pay cut? How much is LeBron really serious about this winning? How much will he take a pay cut? 8 mil, nigga, go to OK. Come, you should have just went to OKC, my nigga. Oh! 8 mil? I would have easily, we just got rid of Lou, Isaiah Joe, Wiggs. LeBron could have easily slid in. You could even take a 1-year deal. Take a 1-year deal with a player option. If you don't like Oklahoma that first year, then pack it up. You could go find a one. You feel me? You might as well. He won a ring chase. It's like, I guess, but this team here is very, very, very crazy, and I'm intrigued to see how it all will mesh together. I'm intrigued to see how it would all mesh together, just because it is a lot of ball handlers, and this is a good spot for LeBron because LeBron is able to come in and be the facilitator. I would not be surprised if we're seeing a lot of Point Bron this year, because he is the best facilitator out there on the court. And he has a bunch of players that could get themselves their own buckets. They got a bunch of rim runners. They got a bunch of 3-point shooting. They have a dominant big. They have board. Like, this team right here, I would not be surprised, is one of the best teams in the league. Now, when you put them in a grand scheme with then with the Spurs and Thunder, that's where things can get interesting, because I don't think they're better than either of those two teams, but I also would not be surprised with the on-court product that it becomes better. Especially, again, the thing that's getting talked about the least, I feel like, is that their bench is very good. Or, it's not like it's terrible. When you have a starting lineup like this, your bench suffers so much. You have nobody on the bench, and you have to go ahead and start playing players with second units that are in the starting lineup. But you have, and that's, of course, with everything. Of course, you're not going to do platoon subs. But this team has a competent bench with a starting lineup that looks like this. It is going to be a intriguing year, and I cannot wait with everything that's been moving, all the shifts and changes. Miami Heat fans, they lucked out on Braun. They lucked out on Braun, but got Giannis. And the Heat team is going to look interesting. The East is going to be so interesting. And that's partially why I kind of wish divisions mattered a lot more. They may matter. They may matter when it comes to internal rivalries. But nothing in the grand scheme of, what things go on. The Atlantic Division for the East is absolutely crazy, with having the Knicks, the Raptors, the Sixers, Nets, and Celtics all within them, and all four teams out of the 5 is competent. But I would not be surprised if the Brooklyn Nets go ahead and pull out some wins, because they do have some hoopers at the end of the day. With the 3-2-1 method or whatever, you have teams that are now incorporating needing to be at least a competent lineup, a competent team to still win, and that's a lineup that can get wins. That Brooklyn Nets team. So I wish the divisions mattered a lot more. I don't think really that they have too much beef other than really the top 4 teams. I don't believe the Raptors is they're Canadian. They kind of just out the way. But this division is so interesting. This whole conference is interesting. Detroit takes a big hit if there has to be any losers. Not that because Detroit was going to get LeBron, but because Detroit is primed to make an upgrade, and they have only made They've only made they've made themselves 2% better than compared to these other teams that made themselves 10, 15, 20% better. You have Toronto that just added Kawhi potentially. You have the Sixers that added Jaylen Brown and LeBron for pretty much PG, which is absolutely crazy. You have Boston, who had gone worse, but you have hopefully a full healthy Tatum. New York coming off a championship. You still have healthy Tyrese, healthy Halliburton coming back to the Pacers with new Zubac. You have the East is now just primed to go ahead and try to is going to be a bloodbath in that East, and it's not that it's different, but that's different. This is, I will say, Bron is back into the East. Let's not forget about that. This is the first time Bron has been in the East since what, 2019. It has been about 7 years since Bron's been in the East. That's his realm. That's his realm. LeBron has made it to the championship every year in the East since what, 2011? Our run has not ended. 2011, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 8 straight years of him making it to the finals in the East. Once he went to LA, the Raptors got to there, and there's been a difference. LeBron is back into the East. He can make it 9 straight years of making it to the finals while playing in the East. He got powers. It's LeBron James. I'm not surprised. This is gonna be interesting. This is what we've been waiting for. We ready for Sixer Knicks opening day and Thunder Spurs opening day. That's what's gonna be. Christmas games gonna be interesting. I'm just really excited. I think what underrated rivalry that's gonna is 76ers versus Celtics. 76ers versus Boston. They always play each other either opening night or Christmas Day or whatever. It's always some sort of rivalry that goes on there. Joel Embiid said it last year. They always kick our ass. It's not a rivalry if we always lose. Well, guess what, y'all? Y'all went ahead and took them out last year. Took their best player last year in Jaylen Brown, and you added LeBron, who has rivalries with the with the Celtics, with being on the Lakers, and with him going back to Miami and Cleveland. He just has himself an eternal rivalry, Boston. That is going to be so interesting, and I'm excited. I'm really excited to see how this all turns out to be. We just gotta wait and see. I appreciate y'all if y'all made it this far. You might have enjoyed something. I appreciate if you go ahead and like button, subscribe, comment down below. What do you have the Sixers as a competing team? Do you think, are they the top odds? Do you think they got the best chance of winning the championship? You think this is not going to work out? I think at the end of the day, this is all post game. This is New Game Plus by LeBron. You feel me? This is whatever to him. Again, OKC in 6, hopefully. And that's all I got to say. I got y'all. I'll catch you on the next one. Love y'all. Peace, y'all. Gang, this is crazy. Bron.